All right, hey, how's it going? It's
Okay.
is it? Are we live?
Yes, sir.
So it's the 23rd December, 2 days before Christmas. We're here Monday night.
I'll do it.
Roughly 6 o'clock every Monday to have dinner and fellowship with brothers. We got Cody here with us. He's a new member in the Mennonite Abilene. And we had Ronnie pick a topic for us for tonight. So and what it is giving. Our topic is going to be giving, and it's going to be about the intent when you give. I'm actually going to, I was told last time that I need to share the floor a little bit more, so I'm going to let Moy start.
Who said that?
Dale.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
So Moy, go ahead. So what I would say is, whenever you, in fact, let's get raw with it. Can you look back and tell me a time whenever your intention in giving wasn't what it should have been?
Well, from the start, I know that yes. Can I recall on occasion? I'm trying to. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. I was telling the guys today in class, whenever we don't, I kind of tied up with last night's preaching, when we don't know who we are as men, or women, whatever. But when we don't know who we are, we tend to add value to ourselves with things, material things or other things, or other people. So, like, oh, look at my car that I bought. So that means I must be doing something right. Or look at my vehicle. So we tend to do those things, manipulate our the perception of others, how they see us. So with that said, in the past I've given things. We were talking about love also. You just give it unconditionally. But sometimes I used to give things expecting something back. Especially, when we're talking about chicks, when we're talking about girls, you give something, and it's a little bit cloudy for me because one of my languages of love is giving. So when I care about somebody, I start giving, But I know many times I would give stuff with an intention to receive something back, expecting something back, or trying to kind of like make the girl like me. And so I did that many times. I mean, since I can recall, everything is coming up now. Everything is coming up. But I'm single, so whatever, right? So there's a lot of chicks. There's one in my mind like 6-7 years ago. I was about to the point of giving her a cell phone, like an actual cell phone. She was out of the cell phone. Her cell phone broke, blah, blah, blah. We were always fighting and arguing about who's the best, who has the best phone, iPhone or Android, the eternal battle. I had an iPhone. I was like, you know what, whatever. So I talked to a friend. He's like, give her a phone. And I'm like, no, that's too much. And that's the thing, I was about to. But anyways, I don't know exactly what happened. But the point is, if I would have done that, the intention was totally wrong. I was not just like, oh, you need a phone? Boom, here it goes. And so it was just trying to, make her like me more, which we were already talking and whatnot. But the intention of the heart was wrong. Period. That's all I wanted to say. So yes, I've done that many times with simple things. It can be even with compliments. Sometimes we give compliments
So that we expect something in return. It's like me telling somebody I love you and then waiting to hear I love you back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If I love you, I love you regardless if I get that back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even in that, that in itself is a gift.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that we give, whether it's what we're speaking out because we speak things into existence, or whether or not, like it's the Christmas season, that's what kind of I think spurred this topic is giving, because we're so used to being conditioned to give during this time, and so we try to. And this is something I'm going through right now. Is Christmas is in 2 days. We're in ministry, and so we don't have, the ability to buy everything that we would like to get for our kids or our wives or our parents or whatever.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, the most valuable thing I have to them is time. And so it's just going to be to spend some time with them, and I've been doing that a lot lately. To spend time with all the people I care about, you guys. And it's the really, it's the one thing that doesn't cost anything, but the hardest thing to give sometimes is time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
I'm thinking about a time that I was involved in ministry back in Dallas. I worked at an after-school program, and like you said, it's ministry. You know, there is no guaranteed payroll. You know, there is no raise because you've been doing good. You know, it's not like you get a $1, $2 raise because of how obedient you've been. You know, I think there's blessings that come. But I think me, as an addict, alcoholic, for some reason, it's always about the money. It's always, and that's how it was early in like when I was of service in my, when I first began getting into ministry, it was, if I have a good heart, if I show up and I give of myself and I do the right things, maybe the people around me will notice me and be like, he deserves some credit, you know. And I think that's what it. At first, that was if I could be honest, that was somewhat where my mind was at. Sometimes was, how can this benefit? How can me being of service benefit me? Benefit my pocket? Benefit my title? Benefit my how I look? You know, and that's just being honest. You know, but over time, I've noticed that when it comes to really helping somebody else, if your heart's not in it, you're gonna hate everything you do.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate it.
You said something. You said I did it so that I got money or whatever. It makes it performance. How am I performing? The truth is, if we're in proper identity, it says in what is it, Timothy? We live with him. If we live with him, then we die with him. If we, you know, before it goes on to say an athlete competes and such and so on and so forth. So, the truth of it is, being back in the right relationship means that everything's provided for us. Mm-hmm. The needs as they arise are provided, and we don't understand the need. So a lot of times I don't understand the difference between what I need and what I want.
Oh yeah, big time.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're not only the world is deceptive, but so are we self-deceive.
Oh yeah.
And so, what do you think, Mike Jones?
Well, I think that God so loved the world. I'm just reading it.
Come on.
Because it have to be something. It have to be something. It have to be an exchange. Guys, it just have to be an exchange. Correct me as I go along, okay? Because I am who I am. I expect something back. I'm going to expect something back. I expect that you let me in this place, men and Nehemiah, whatever they need to recover. Your return gotta be. I'm expecting to have something come up out of this. Great. Not as a default, but if it happened to be a default, okay. But the time that I spent here, I'm doing something for the expectation of my recovery. Okay? I expect something back. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whomsoever believes him shall not perish. He expects something back in return. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish. Is that an expectation or not?
I agree.
I've been twisted. I've got twisted behind the word. Behind misrepresentation of the word. Because I bought into it and I kept buying into it and I will continue buying into it until I'm set apart. And I've been set apart to understand expecting. I expect the love of God. I expect to give myself over to what his word is to do something great and awesome in my life. I expect something back.
Yeah. I think it's where do we set our expectation?
Right. Exactly.
On him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are we setting our expectation on him? Yes. It says, give us this day our daily bread. We expect the daily bread if we're sitting in the right relationship. So there is, I agree with that.
I give.
Whenever I was talking about giving to another human,
I want to see him smile.
Okay.
I want to see him happy. I want to see him enjoy himself. I want to see expression. Yeah. I want to know that it's okay. It was a well done job.
Yeah.
But you can't cut me off because I'm giving you what's given to me. I can only give you what I have received and what I have experienced. because I read it, and then the word is read, but it's misquoted. He gave Adam a place to be. He gave Adam a duty to do. He gave the man something to do, expecting him to do it. Even though I twisted it up, even though I got out of character with it, even though I took it out of the place that I was supposed to be in. Did he leave me? Is he still here for me? But he let me have the opportunity to do, impart into me his image and his likeness. Yes, formed from the dust. But he blew his spirit in me to correct me. I'm back quiet.
No, I like that. I like that, Mike.
No, that was fire, bro. That was fire. What do you think, Cody?
Giving. I feel like I'm a believer of you get out of something what you put in, and for a lifetime of me, and I've admitted this, and I don't know how to get past this, is that I'm so comfortable and used to, even in this dates back to childhood, giving so much and not everything. And to look at that like that, it's like I normally I'll get 90% to something and I'll fail because all I put in was 90%. If I got 90% of that was a plus to me, but I'm used to getting C's. I'm used to getting 70 and that's okay with me. But I keep failing because in everything with my children, my life, my job, my faith, I only put in so much, and it's something inside of me that I don't want to. It's something that I always hold on to out of fear of I guess it's being alone. Fear, the trust, and I think it's from the like abandonment. You know what I'm saying? It's why I can only give so much, and not even expecting in return. Like I can only give so much. Like I only allow myself to give so much, not even expecting nothing in return, but not giving fully. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've every single, you know what I'm saying? No matter where I've been, it don't matter where I'm at. I only give so much, and it becomes just it's non-stop in my life. You know that's what I've always done. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes perpetual to where I only give so much. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. I have ideas, but other than that, it's just in my nature, you know, until I can find out why. Because it really, you know, technically it's nothing that I've ever finished. Technically. You know what I'm saying? And God keep giving me a chance over and over and over, and sometimes I abuse that. I abuse that because I know, well, if I give so much, I think like, well, God will give me another chance because I did give, but I didn't give my all, and I'm based that off of, well, that's why God gave me some things, you know, but in actuality, like you said, with God, really, He's giving me everything.
Absolutely.
And that's some deep things that I gotta work on. You know, just giving and and some things I do give. You know, I have to check my intentions of what I really do. Like, you know, if I was to marry a woman, am I marrying her to give her my all and to say I'm ready for this? Or am I marrying her to not lose her?
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
Come on, man.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is, you know, like, giving my all, am I ready for that? Because if I say I'm ready to marry somebody, like, I'm ready to spend my life with you, I'm making a commitment with you, but I can marry you and then cheat on you. Or I can marry you and not be, you know, like, have ulterior motives about it, you know, so, like, my giving spirit is sincere, but it's not full.
Hello. Thank you. Come on, that's good.
That was pretty deep, bro.
Yeah.
I think that I agree with everything you said. I know that I can look back in times in my life where I was, and it all comes down to intent. To be able now to examine the intention of why I give versus before, whenever I was so deceived that I would say, I gave it my all.
Thank you.
Now I look back and say, I did all that shit for me. Or sorry for saying shit. Are we allowed to say shit? I just, man, that's a revelation right there. Why did I? Did I even do it 100%? See, I was looking at intent, but did I even give it my all when I did do it? I mean, if I wasn't giving it my all, then my intention wasn't there anyway. Bro, that makes me want to call him. That's real, man. That's real.
Yeah. Because
if I'm not giving it everything I got, then my intention isn't right in the first place. And I think that it says everywhere Christ talked about stuff, it was intent of the heart.
Yeah.
It was intent. It'd be better not to do it than just waste energy. And man, that's deep. What you got, Matt?
So for me, you know, like, I think before my addiction, as a kid, I was very giving. I think there was a purity about it. I think I'm remembering about these kids that were next door to us, and you know, I wasn't the only child, but all my brothers and sisters, they grew up, and I pretty much hung out with myself, entertained myself, watched a lot of Michael Jackson,
I believe this.
over and over. But these kids, they were next door to me.
You gave the neighborhood the gift of dance.
The gift of the And these kids were next door, you know, we would play outside all the time, but there was some times where I kind of felt like they didn't have what I had. Not to say that we had much things, but at the same time, I had a little toy chest full of, you know, toys that I played with, you know? And I felt so bad because I felt like they should have this too.
Yeah.
And I remember giving those things to them and just dropping them over the fence. You know, because I didn't want, and that's the thing, that's what I look back, I'm just like, wow, God, like, the way you created us to be is like little children. It does say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the word is that we are like to be childlike and the nature of who we are. And I remember I just tossed them over the fence, I just dropped them there. And I didn't want them to know, I just wanted it to be done. You know, I just wanted it to happen, so I did it. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did with them. I don't know if they enjoyed them or not. But to me, that was enough. That was enough. So, you know, like I said, after addiction, you know, I lost that. I lost that childlike nature, and it was always about me.
Yeah.
It was always about me. Because everything I did was for my next fix, the next hit. And then I look on what I did to do that, and yeah, I destroyed not only just material things, but like we talked about the other night, along the path of selfishness and self-centeredness, I dragged a lot of people with me, and I caused a lot of turmoil in their life, and so, you know, I'm getting back to that childlikeness.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that's exactly what I want. I just, God, you know, like, and that's my prayer sometimes. God, just form me like the way you see me as a child, because honestly, children still have the sinful nature, we all do, but when he refers to the childlikeness, it's the ability to be pure in what you do.
Pure
what
intent.
you do. I could love this
And
man. I could love
dependence.
this
It's
man.
also, he's talking in that, I believe he's talking about a dependence, like childlike, meaning I know that he's there and everything's provided. Whenever my kids were little, all the bills were paid, there was always food on the table, everything. And so they knew without a doubt that was going to happen. But it is also how they handle those, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know,
good
and
stuff.
it's crazy because as men, you know, we somewhere along the line we got it twisted to where it's not okay to do this. You know, it's not
Yeah.
okay to be like this because hold up, man, chill out. That's too much love.
Yeah.
That's too friendly. That's too, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember buying into that as a teenager.
Yeah.
I was supposed to change my character and the way that I presented myself because for some reason, like we all been through, we have to be hard. We gotta be
Yeah.
on guard. We gotta be, you know. Where did I learn that from?
That's
Crap that I didn't even realize that was, that was beginning to define me. So it's just, yeah, man, addiction and the way that, I don't know, our circles that we've been around
Yeah.
have affected us and formed us in ways that, honestly, I'm just like, God, remove it.
And I think that as we begin to walk in a right relationship, he peels those layers back.
Yeah.
And the most powerful thing that we can ever do is love somebody.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
as he peels those away, those levels of hard, we get real authority and we get a real weapon. And that real weapon is just the love. It's okay, act hard, bro. Act as hard as you want, I'm gonna love you.
Yeah.
You know, act as weak as you want, I'm gonna love you. Whatever it is, I'm just gonna love it. All I can do. Cody said something this morning. All I can see is me. God will show me spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you are who he says you are, once you can walk in the authority, and when I say authority, just in right relationship with him, sitting comfortably knowing you're a son, peculiar, royal priesthood, all those things that he says I am, I'm able to love someone with no intent other than just saying, man, together we get to build the most beautiful bride for him, because it says that in the word. Together we get to walk arm in arm back in the garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Together. And all that other stuff fades away. There's no other intention. There's no intent.
Yeah.
The intent is simply, I love you. I see you for who you are, even if we can't see who we are at first. And that, I think that's constantly revealed. What do you got, boy?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, sticking with the topic of giving, and as far as love, connecting it with love, the way God loves us, you know, the agape love, the unconditional love, and I guess bring it back to the same from the beginning. Sometimes we give love, in this case, we give love, expecting, you know, to be received back the same way. But like you said, sometimes when I tell you I love you, you know, I am cool with it because I know who I am, and I know what I have, and I know that you not telling me I love you back is not gonna steal anything from my identity. And then also, I would like to steer the conversation a little bit to these, holidays and Christmas and everything. You mentioned, you touched that. Like, everyone is like, kind of like programmed. As soon as December hits, everyone starts giving, you know, and do something kind and be kind and just give money and give gifts and give this and give that. And then people start paying for others. And that's fine, you know, I love that. I love that fact, but I'm just wondering, like, why can't we just do that, like, every day, every month? Not just because it's December and then, I mean, it's up to you. If the intention is right, perfect. But to me personally, me as a human, it makes me wonder, am I giving just because it's Christmas, spirit of Christmas? Or am I giving because it's really who I am? I'm a giver because I understand the love that God gave me, so I just give. I mean, am I a letter?
The other side of that is the obligation. Am I giving because I'm obligated to give?
Right.
Well, come on now.
You know what I mean? Because if I'm not, I would feel guilty if I don't, or I have to.
The pressure.
The pressure of it, absolutely. And that's kind of what I meant when I was talking about the kids and feeling like I have to. I don't feel like I have to do. I don't understand needs and wants. And if you can sit back in that and not be obligated, then that's a comfortable, peaceful place, because we don't even in the obligation to give. What do you give somebody? Something they want or something they need? How do you determine that?
Yeah.
How do you balance that skill? You know what I mean? That's a big one. That sounds like a God job.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, only God can discern the heart. Only God can really know what the intention is, the why, the motivation behind everything we do, the why we do the things. Honestly, we can try our best at trying to decipher, but we might fail. I mean, honestly, I guess that's not our job. It's above our pay grade. We're not supposed to be discerning. Oh, well, you gave because I guess that's out of my league. I can't. That's not my job. You know, if I'm gonna give, give. If you're not gonna give, don't give. Period.
That's like, to go back to, like you said, what Cody said. It's God always reveals me to me.
Yes.
And the only reason I can see you is because I already have majority of that in me. I've
overcome it. I know that spirit. I recognize that spirit.
I spot what I got.
Yeah.
So for me, like you said, that's not my business. That's not what God has called me for. I think He gives us discernment, like you said, but I think for me, ultimately, my desire is that I can, like, God, keep removing these layers that I built up, that I haphazardly built up in my addiction, built up out there doing what I did, exposing myself to all these things spiritually. God, continue to please remove those, because I want to be pure in heart, you know?
You know what just came to mind, and I don't know why. So two things came to mind. Is one, whenever you pull up to a stoplight and there's a guy there asking for money, I wonder how many people don't give because of what they think his intent is.
Exactly.
But I'll say this, and I'm telling you this right now. If you have one of those, the Ichthus, the Christian fish on your car, or your church, or your ministry you're involved in, and you don't, and you pass them by, they see that too.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Both ways.
So it's obviously if you, but I'm telling you, I've had that. Everybody's pulled up and been like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like, not this one. He's already cross-eyed and already on his third. You know what I mean? So, but the truth of it is, like, what difference does it make? You may hand that to him and he may be going to buy beer, but he remembers after you gave it to him, he saw that Christian fish and was like, maybe that, or saw that church logo and thought for the first time, maybe I can go there and they'll accept me exactly where I am.
And that's
the greatest gift Christ left us is our ability to love somebody where they are, because that's what He did for us.
Exactly.
He didn't find me at my best. He found me at my worst.
You hit one.
No, I got a quick story about that. I've never been the type that stand in front of a store and beg. You know what I'm saying? Or, ask for money or on the corner or nothing like that. I was different kind of, I get stuff different kinds of ways. But this was I ain't gonna say what day it was, but it was a day. It was a day I had got a paycheck, and I knew that I couldn't cash the paycheck to a certain time, right? So I got a paycheck, and but something said I knew I didn't have no other money either. I didn't have no other money, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna stand in front of this store. It's cold outside, and I said, I'm just gonna ask, can you help me out with a cup of coffee? Cause that's all I needed was a cup of coffee. That's all I wanted. I didn't want, I'm like, once I cash this paycheck, I can get loaded. I ain't trying to get money to get loaded. I don't, you know what I'm saying? And man, the people, like, they looked at me like some people ignore me. Some people, I don't have it, man. I'm asking for a cup of coffee. I'm not asking for no money. I ain't asking for no beers, no nothing. I'm asking for a cup of coffee. It's cold outside. And this one guy said, first I said, hey, can you help me out? He said, and then I said, with a cup of coffee? He said, oh, you just want coffee? He took his hand out of his pocket. He said, oh, you just want coffee? Yeah, come on, man, I got you. And we went into the store, and I'm getting my coffee. He getting his coffee, and we're not talking. Then we walk up to the front, and we in the line, and I got my coffee. He got his coffee, and then the clerk looks past and said, because she was dealing with some customers, she said, "Oh, y'all just got coffee. Y'all good."
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you telling that story whenever last year whenever I walked to Denver.
That's like, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Last year when I walked from Denver to
Yeah.
Dallas, I didn't ask anybody for anything. And I remember the last night I had made it to Colorado Springs, and I'd walked, and it was early in the morning, and it was in this little like municipality that didn't have the train that ran from there. I had to get like another 12 miles. For some reason, I could not, after walking all that way, I could not make myself walk that last 12 miles. And I was sitting outside this store, just praying, God, let somebody please say, hey, you need a ride. And my spirit was down. I felt whooped at that point. You know, I know God called me to do this. I had all this amazing experience the whole way. I'm literally like 710 miles into this walk. I got like 30 miles to go. And I couldn't make myself do it. And so finally I sat there for like 3 hours waiting on somebody just to offer. Because I wasn't going to ask. I knew that me and God had already talked about that. And he told me about moving on people anyway. I get up, and you're not supposed to walk on the highways in Colorado. Cops will get you, you know. So I get my stuff and I start walking. I'm walking down the access road. And a guy that I saw go in the store, but I had left before he came out, had pulled up to the fence next to where the access road came down. It was like, hey. And I walked over there, and I'll never forget, he had a vitamin water and a burrito. And he was like, and I don't know why, him just extending that. And he was like, everybody I came in contact with, I share my testimony. Hey, I walked from Dallas to Denver. God told me to. This is my story, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, man, if I didn't have a meeting that my business has to have, something that my business has to do today, I would take you the rest of the way to Denver. I'd love to hear everything that's going on and take you and see the place you got to go. It's funny because his generosity in that moment where he gave it, and I didn't really want a vitamin water. I didn't really want a burrito, but his intent, I felt the presence of God in it, and I felt renewed in my spirit, and I started walking. You know what I mean? That little act of kindness, that little act of concern, he just knew that. I mean, 700 miles in, you look rough. You know what I'm saying? So he just knew that I didn't have a place. He didn't know the rest of it. But his heart, he hunted me down. He didn't go outside the store, didn't see me and threw it away. He went to look for me. And that intent of his heart is what drove me to say, you know what, God? It was like God said, look, I sent somebody just to renew your spirit because you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. What were you going to say, Matt or Emily?
Dang, I got caught up in what you said, and there was something else to that.
He was thinking about a joke, man.
No,
I saw the look too.
No,
you saw the look.
No,
blow.
My
Your nose gives
intentions-
us away.
My intentions were pure, I promise.
Well, I get it. Okay. I know there is alright, get back to mine. I don't know where, might be not even true, but I'm sure I've seen it. I don't know what city. I don't know if it was in US or UK, one of them two countries. That there was a Christian organization, etc. That they go, and I don't want to. Might be a little bit rough to say it, but
Come on.
there is that the drug addiction, prostitution is evident in every city.
Oh, yeah.
We can we like to pretend that it's not a problem, it's not an issue, and let somebody deal with it. But if we are the hand of God, and if we are the eyes of Christ, and if we have His hands, His feet, we are supposed to be doing what we can. I'm gonna put it like that, what we can, because it's also not like a duty. But there is a city where a Christian organization goes out at night, and they hand out condoms, to prostitutes. They go share the love of God. And I know they got a lot of crap because, oh my gosh, you're giving them free condoms so they can do their crap again, and they can do.
They're gonna do
First
it
of
anyway.
all, and that's the point of the organization, because they're like, we care for them, we love them,
Yeah.
and they can't probably receive the love of God in any other way, or in a preachy way, and here's the Bible, and but they can understand that we care for them, and we don't want them to get infected, we don't want them to get in any kind of way. So they hand over, condoms. And the point is that many of these prostitutes are not even there because they want to, because they love it, because they enjoy it. Because at the same time, they have a lot of turnover from those women, into Christ and get off the streets and whatnot. So they're accomplishing a mission. But I'm just saying sometimes the way they're giving the love of God, they're sharing the love of God by giving away condoms. Why? Because the intention is they care for them. They don't want them to get any kind of disease or anything, or get pregnant or whatever.
And you know what's funny is once they receive that, they can receive the word.
Yes.
My brother, who I love dearly, who's not here tonight, told me one of the most profound things that affected my walk and how I tried to speak to someone about God. And he said this: even Christ fed the 5,000 before he gave them the Beatitudes. What are they hungry for? You got to meet the carnal before you can deliver the spiritual. Sometimes it's $1. Sometimes a cup of coffee. Sometimes it's a burrito and a vitamin water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in that, meeting that carnal need, then I was open to receive
Yes.
the gift of renewed spirit, the gift of, I needed somebody, some form of human reaching out to me in that moment. And it was to let me know it was going to be all right, that I could keep going. And it came in the form of a burrito and a vitamin water that I didn't even know I wanted. But when it did it, and I got to share my testimony a little bit, he's like, man, I wish I could. Just somebody cheer me along in that moment. You got this. Man, I wish I could get.
Yeah.
It was huge. It led me, because at that point, 710 miles in or not, I was done. I didn't care how much. If it would have been 2 miles to go, at that moment, my spirit was beaten up. And that burrito and that vitamin water, that man, I wish I would know what his name was, man. That was monumental to getting there. And you know what happened after that? I went that 30 miles and then made it another 749 miles back. You know what I'm saying? And it was all, but it was people. It was people reaching out to me. I remember this dude in between Amarillo and Text Line, Hispanic guy. He was in a carpet truck. It was stripped down, but it had all these the carpet rolled up and piled up.
Right.
And he pulled up and he was like, "Man, I don't even drink coffee, but I was at the store and something told me to get this cup of coffee." And I'm not even joking, man. I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "I promise." And he gave it to me and I tasted it and it was exactly how I would have made it. It's those little moments of nothing to somebody that's monumental to others. Monumental. That'll set up that. Those things are monuments in my life that I reflect on to this day. And it was a 90-cent cup of coffee.
Right.
But that was the night it dropped down. Well, I went to sleep and it was 40 degrees and I woke up and it was 0 and it was snowing.
Hey.
And so I'm telling you, that was daunting to wake up and know that I got, hell's Amarillo. I still had like 500 something miles to go at that. But it was that little interaction with him. Man, that made me chug along. And then God's revelation. And then somebody else. Just like, man, let me hang out with you for a second. I want to hear what's going on. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's that time. It's the time that God took to bring me that burrito and that vitamin water. Made me feel his intent and the love that he had for me, which made me feel God's love through someone. Mm-hmm. We are the greatest representation left on earth of Christ's love if we're able to submit to who he says we are. Yeah. And it comes sometimes in a 90-cent cup of coffee. Sometimes it comes in like, $4 for a vitamin water and a burrito. Yeah. But I felt love both of those times, not only by God, but also by man. I felt like that I needed somebody in that moment to care because I felt alone. So if you get a chance, I'm going to wrap it up right now. Is everybody all right with that? Mm-hmm. So I would say right now, we got 2 days till Christmas. If you see somebody, it doesn't matter what they're going to go do. It matters where you are. If we're the greatest representation of Christ on earth right now, be Christ-like. Just love somebody right where they are. It don't matter why they're there. It doesn't matter what they're going to do next. If you see somebody at a corner, it's cold right now, and they're asking for $1, and you got it. Serve Mammon or serve God. That's the choice. On another note about giving, you can go to our website, tmonabilene.com, and give to us, because we are donation funded, and we survive off your generosity. The ministry itself, being able to house guys, feed guys, clothe guys, go out and do outreach in the community, every bit of it, from the food to the sheets, are by donation from anybody that will care enough to do so. And so, what do you got, Moin? And then I'll pray us out.
Brad, I would like just to finish this, because I know this season is very touchy for many people. I mean, many people see it as the greatest season of the year. Some others see it as the worst. And I just want to just end this with, Christmas tree, ornaments, gifts, all of that is nice. But just in case you never grew up with that, I just want to remind you that the greatest gift ever given to humankind was the eternal life that only Jesus can provide for us. We worry about putting the Christmas tree so beautiful and put the ornaments, when I remind in the Bible that he was hung on a cross, on a tree, some version says. So the greatest ornament, the greatest gift that was ever made for humanity, for you, for me, Jesus, his life in exchange for yours. It was a beautiful exchange. So if you've never had the chance, the time to really settle or come at the end of yourself and just give yourself away to God, I mean, I would like to invite you to be this like the moment, Christmas gift, give yourself a new life per se, and also allow him to give you that new life that only he can provide. And if you just want to say a prayer with me real quick and say, Father God, we thank you because you're an amazing God.
Because you're an amazing God.
At this day, I give you all of me, and I receive everything that you have for me. And God, as I walk at the end of 2019, not only a year, but a decade, Father, 2020 coming up, Father, in the name of Jesus, I declare that you bring prosperity, not only physically and materially, but also in my spirit, emotionally, Father, that I start a new decade strong. And I believe that I trust in you, and you shall provide everything for me and my family. In the name of Jesus, God, I give you my life. Take care of it. All right.
I ain't got nothing left after that. I know this, Jesus, he's coming back soon. Prepare yourself, and that's not to make you afraid or to have any fear, but it's the greatest thing I ever decided to do with my life.
Yeah.
Because I get to live for real now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. See you next Monday.